Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you a few tips and tricks using Cricut Design Space to create your own stencils. So when you're making cards and you want to have one of those stencils that does the clouds, we've kind of done something on this similar before. Or if you want some for grass or circles and bubbles or balloons or whatever, I'm going to show you how to create theirs. Now, if you buy the stencils that are already made from different brands, there's tons of them out there. There is My Favorite Things, Honeybee Stamps. Let me see, I think Tim Holtz has some. There's just a bunch of them out there on the market. But the reason why I'm saying to do this is if you have a bunch of that acetate that came in our mystery boxes months ago, like I did, because they have circles or stripes or whatever that you may never use on a project, you can utilize them for these. Now, most stencils are about 6 by 6, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make them around 6 by 6, and it's really easy. So whenever you put these down on your mat, which I'm going to try to show you here in just a minute, you want to make sure there's like a little plastic backing on those. You want to put that down. I use the purple mat, so that way it'll grip it really well. And then you're going to cut it out. It goes over it twice when you choose acetate in your settings. So if you have a Cricut Explorer, you're going to want to put it on custom setting and then choose acetate. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you how to create some of these. So you can see these are some of the ones that I've already created. Now this one's in Design Space, and I'm just turning it into a stencil. I've made some bubbles, some balloons, some honeycombs, and I've made some clouds and stuff like that. I don't know why it's not letting me scroll. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can see I've also made like some hills and drifts. I've made some grass, and these are going to be like, if you want to add some little spurts of like grass patches or something in your grass. And then I've done some clouds and a sun. So, and I made several different types of clouds, so that way, depending on what kind of card you're wanting to do. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So you're going to go to New Project, and this is just when you first go to Cricut Design Space, go to New Project, and then the very first thing I do is I come down to Shapes, and I'm going to get me a square. So I'm going to go ahead and change the size of this. I'm just going to come up here and put a 6 up here at the width, and then click this side, and it's going to make it a 6 by 6 square. Now you can change this whatever color you want to. I just leave it black. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to create one. Let's go ahead and do some clouds. So you're going to go to Images. And now I'm going to share the files that I've already created. If you don't want to do some on your own, I am going to share all the files to the ones that I've created so you can utilize them. So let's see. Let's go to Cloud. All right, so these are all the different types of clouds that come up. Now, if they have like the eyes and stuff on it, don't worry about it, because I'm going to show you how to ungroup those and get rid of those, because you just want plain clouds. I go for the stuff that's free. So like these ones are Access. So if you're not an Access member, you can kind of look around. Let's see if there's anything that's free without Access. Let's see. It looks like everything's Access. I haven't been not accessed in a long time, so I'm not too sure if you normally would pay for stuff like that. Maybe, I'm not sure, but anyway, so this is basically if you're an Access member, okay? So, or you could bring these images in. You can go to Google cloud silhouettes and stuff like that. So let's use this cloud here, and then I used this cloud. You can see it's several pieces, but I'm just gonna weld this together. And then let's say I use this one as well, and then came down, because if you notice, like these cost here, like you want a basic cloud, those cost money. But if you come down, like this one's 99 cents, but if you keep coming down, you're going to see that there is for free. So you'll see several of these that are free, and you can ungroup stuff like that, etc. So let's take this one. All right, let's insert images. So let me go ahead and scoot these over. So basically, for the sun, let's start there. You're going to go back to Shapes here. I'm going to get a basic circle, and you're working with this 6 by 6 square here. So I'm going to figure out, say that I'm happy with a sun that's about this size, because you don't want it too big. So you can tell your sun's going to be, so you can measure like how big do you like your sun. This one's going to be about 1.5 inches. So if you like 2 inches, you do, etc. So say about 1.5. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to select the square here and that circle, and then I'm going to come down here where it says slice. All right, so now I'm going to get rid of this one, just like that. We're just deleting that. So now there's our first piece. So now I'm going to come into some of these clouds. So like right here with this one, I don't want the eye, and I don't want you know, I can either choose that I want the lighter gray or the darker gray piece. I'm going to choose the darker gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one. I just hit the delete on my computer. I'm going to click the eyes and I'm going to hit delete. And so now I have this one. So what I'm going to do before I sit here and slice these is I'm going to figure out about where they can all fit. You want to leave a little bit of room so that way whenever you're using your like oxide ink, you're not getting onto another shape. So now we'll do this one here. This one does not have any layers, so it's easy and ready to go. So I'm just going to resize that. And if it goes behind, you're just going to come up to arrange and go to move to front. And then I'll find a spot for that one. Now this one here, what I'm going to do, because it's several pieces, I can either get rid of these gray lines right here and hit delete. And then have this piece here, or let me undo it and I'll show you. Or if you just simply click on it and hit your weld button, then it's welded together. So it's just one solid piece. So it's just whatever you want to do. So I'm going to get that one here. Then for this one here, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to decide which one I want. So say I choose the gray, I'm going to click this one and hit delete. So now I'm left with this one. So say I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger than the others. So something like that. So say that's just what I wanted, just like that. Now if you try to select everything with them all on there, you notice slice is not going to come up. You can either do those one at a time, or you could simply take your square here, hide it for a second. Then I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to hit weld. Just like that. Then I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to hit the I button on that. I'm going to select all these pieces here, and I'm going to hit slice. Now that was just a trick, so when you want to weld it just like that and do like we did, so now you can see, I'm going to delete these, and now you can see when you weld those together, you can slice them all at one time, because normally you can only slice 2 things at a time. So that way you could slice all those together, and then there you go. So you would just go ahead and you'd go to make it, and then you would put your acetate. What I do, because 6x6, so you don't have to peel off this entire piece, I just take my little paper trimmer and I cut these down to 7x7, and then I'll place it right up here on the mat on the corner and have 7x7, and then all you're going to do is choose your acetate in your settings, and then you're going to load it and cut it, and it does not take hardly any time at all. Perfect cuts, and it's going to be your cute little stencil. All right, so let's hit cancel, because I'll show you at the end what these kind of look like. All right, so let's see. So for the next one, if you wanted to do something that had like the grass or something all around it, this is what you're going to do. Same thing. You're going to start out with your square. You're going to come up here, change this to 6. Just like that. All right, so now what I would do is I'd go to images, and I would put in grass. So the one that I utilized this one right here, and what I did was took it apart and got rid of the background. So I'm going to select that one, and then I chose these ones to make my little grass spurts. You don't have to do that. And you could choose any of these to do the grass with. So I'm going to also choose this one right here. There's also a shorter one that's like this. I could also do that. Let's do this, and then I'm going to put insert images. All right, now that we have our images, this is what we're going to do. Okay. So I'm going to move these out of the way here. Okay, scoot this one over. All right, so now what we're going to do is this. We're going to start with this one right here. I am going to come, and you can see there's actually several layers. So this black one here, I'm going to get rid of. This gray one, delete, and then this dark green one behind. So it leaves us with this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I want to change the width to 6, so that way it can be perfectly right on the money there. And click over here. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is make sure those are lined up just right. So let me see. Let me get back up here on it just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select those 2. I'm going to come up here to align, and I'm going to center horizontally just to make sure they're lined up good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit weld. All right, just like that. So now you can see that you have the grass just like that. All right, so then for the next one, and actually before I do that, let me undo. I forgot I wanted to duplicate that one. No, I don't. Okay, redo. Okay, so for the next one, it's going to be this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up here to width and bring it down to 6. Just like that. And I'm going to arrange, move it to the front, and I'm going to line it up just like this. I'm going to select those two. I'm going to align center horizontally, and then this time I am going to slice, just like that. All right, so now you can see you have your grass in that direction. So just depending on which way you want to put it on your paper. So I can delete that now. So now for these pieces here, I just want to, because you have two different types of grasses, whether you want to do it from the top or the bottom. What I decided to do on these is I just rotated this one, I believe it was 180 degrees. Nope, it was 90 degrees. 90 degrees, just like that, all right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to size this little guy down to the size that I want, because I just want some little patches. And then I'm going to go to move to the front, and what I want to do with this, I want to duplicate it because I want to have 2 or 3 different sizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it here, just like that, making sure I'm right on the edge. I'm going to select it just like this, slice. All right, now I can get rid of this piece. I'm just going to select these pieces here and hit delete, delete, and one more time, delete. All right, so now you can see that little gap. So you would just keep continuing to do that. So same thing with this one. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. All right, then I would come up here to flip, and I'm going to flip it horizontal. So that way it's in this direction. I'm going to also size this little guy down to about like that. I'm going to make sure it's in the front. So I'm going to hit arrange, move to front, and then I'm going to put it on here. Now, if I wanted several of these, I would duplicate it first, so that way I have extra, so I can make medium, large, medium, small. And you're just going to continue to do that all the way down. So that is how you would build it all the way around the square. And just like that, and then you would select it again. You would hit slice. Move that out of the way so I can just select these and hit delete. So there you go. So that's how I kind of did the grass. And then, let's see. Let's go to new, replace. Let me show you how I would do the clouds. So go to images and come back to clouds. All right. So say once again, I'm going to pick several different types of clouds here. We'll choose this one, we'll choose this one, this one, this one, and we'll do, no, I don't want that one. Make sure my other ones are still selected. Okay. And then the next one we will do, I stick with all the free stuff, like I said. We'll do this one right here. Okay. So now I'm going to go to insert images. All right. So before I get my square, I'm going to go ahead and get these. So I'm going to delete this one here. So there's that one. Then on this one, I'm going to delete all these pieces once again. And once again, you could just weld them all. So I could come up to this one and I can hit weld. I do want to take off, so I'm going to contour because I do want to take off the raindrops. So I'm just going to click, 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 exit. So there's that one. And then this one, I'm going to weld it. It just makes it so much faster. Weld, weld. And I think that was our last one. This one's fine. All right, so we're going to come back to shapes. We're going to get us a square. We're going to put it at 6 by 6. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to come down a little bit so I can bring these. So what I'm going to do, just a little at a time, I'm going to bring these down a little bit so I can bring these all the way around. And as I'm going, I'm going to bring them. I don't have to bring them to the front. I can actually leave them in the back, and that's what I'm going to do this time. All right, so what I'm going to do is just size these down. I'm just trying to make a different little variety of these little clouds here. I'm going to have this one, and I can even turn them. So I'm going to kind of turn this one. Let me undo that. All right, so what I'm going to do is kind of line this up with this circle over here, kind of like this. All right, and then this one, I'm going to rotate it like so. So I can have that one, or I can rotate it all the way around. like this to have more of a flat edge. So we'll kind of come up in like this. All right, and then come down, just continuing to go all the way around, just like that. And then I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to rotate it on this side. All right, and I'm going to put it right about there, which I'm going to have to select all and move everybody over so I can get that right. Okay, so then I'm going to bring this one just somewhere like this. I'm kind of trying to pay attention to my other pieces of where everything's kind of landing. All right, and then what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate this one again. So I'm going to hit duplicate so I can kind of have it somewhere like this. Okay, so say I'm just happy with this. So I'm going to select all, and then what I'm going to do is weld it. So now you have something that's funky like this that's going to make your cloud shapes. And you may not be happy with this. You may want to undo and go back and kind of rearrange everything to kind of have a little bit of a better layout. But just say that I was happy with it. So select all. Let me go backwards here. Okay, say I was happy with this. Now it's 9 by 9. All I'm going to do is change that again, go back to that 6 by 6, so that way it's the correct size. So there it is. Once again, you go to make it. I'd cut that acetate down to 7 by 7, and it's going to perfectly cut that out. So I think that's pretty much the gist. So you get the point of layering on the outside of it as well as layering on the inside. And you could just think outside the box. I mean, there's just so many things. You could do the same thing with font as long as the font's going to stay attached. So like if the little pieces of the A's and stuff like that is going to come out, you're not going to have those. So make sure whatever it is, it's one of those fonts that's like grouped together, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and go over to the machine. I'm going to kind of show you how to do one of these. Okay, so we're at the machine. So what I did was I took my acetate. These are those sheets that I'm talking about, but you could use any acetate. This is just that real thin plastic. You can get it off your packaging. So some of your stamps, if you put them in the new packaging, those pieces that come with your stamps, you can use those. Anything that's in your household, you may purchase something that has like some thin plastic. You can cut it apart and use that. There's just like some of your paper packs come with the plastic on the front. So utilize those if you don't have any acetate, but you can purchase stuff like this at the store. But if, like I said, if you purchase these in your box and you're trying to find something to use, because like I make shaker cards, but I'm not going to make it with designs like this. So all these ones right here with all this design stuff, I'm never going to utilize it. So that's what I'm utilizing it for. So I'm just trying to help you to put it used to something. So I've cut this down to a 7 by 7. So like I said, I use my 12 by 12 mat, and this is one of the ones that I've cut in half. I just find it better. Now, you could use the green one as well, but just don't try to use the blue one because your acetate may shift. Now, what I was talking about, on your acetate, if you look, this side right here, without the blue, so you'll see your colors, those are going to go up. The side without the color is going to go down. It actually has like this film, and I'm going to show you how that's going to work in just a minute. So what I do, this is one of the mats that I've cut in half. And what I like to do when I cut them in half is I use the opposite side, the bottom part. So I'm just going to load this on here. So I'm going to put this in the corner, just like this. All right, so now it's on there really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit load. All right, and all we're going to do is hit go. All right, that's it. Simple as that. So I didn't put it in fast forward motions. I didn't put it in fast forward so you could see how quick that was. So all you're going to do, because of that plastic thing on the bottom, all you're going to do is you push up. So here's your acetate. This is where it cut. You're just going to kind of push up where it cut, and you can grab a hold of that, and that plastic piece is going to stay down. So now that just pops right out. So now you have a really cool stencil. You could use either side, and what I do at this point is, so this one's my cloud, so I know what it is. All I'm going to do is take I created a label for it, so I use my little label maker here. And then I just pop clouds on it, so that way I know what it is. So just like that, and here in just a second I'll kind of show you that in use. So all I'm going to do after that is you're going to take it and you're going to pull off just like this. So you can see it's got that film that's underneath. That's what I was talking about. And so it just kind of helps like separate those, if you will. So there it is. Okay, so it was easy just like that. So now let me go ahead and show you it in use. So they're all going to cut out the exact same way. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and move it out of my way. And like I said, make sure you choose those acetate settings. So I'm going to kind of push this back so you guys can see really quick. So I'm just going to take my Teflon sheet here. I'm going to take my little cloud stencil. And then I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper here so you can see here. This is just the Distress Oxide. So I'm going to show you how well these work out. So I'm just going to kind of hold this in place. And then I'm going to kind of come in here. I'm just kind of going messy here, but you'll get the point. Just like that. So there's your clouds. And you can move these around so that way you can get some different effects. So I can kind of come in like this. And then you can also come from this side here. So you could come down below like that if you wanted to and have it more like that. So you could do whatever you wanted to. But you can see how nice those work. The grass is going to work the exact same way. So you can see how easy that works. They work really great. You're going to, then what you do to wash these off, just take yourself a baby wipe. So you're just going to take a baby wipe here. And then just go around and get them all cleaned up. And what I did was I'm trying to put my label on the side, so I would probably flip it up this way so that way I'm not going to have to keep wiping over my label. But even if I did, I can peel it off and make a new one, so it's no big deal. But easy, clean, and now you have something to use those acetate sheets for. So I hope you guys found this helpful. You could do the same thing, like I said, if you're wanting to do some letters and stuff and you need stencils, whether it's for spray paint, whatever it is. All you need is some acetate. You can use it from packaging, like I said. So hope you guys found this helpful in some way. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.